Hey, welcome back. Last video, you saw me do some terrible rust repair. This thing has some terrible rust. And you saw how bad the roof was. Well, this video, we're going to tackle the roof. I'm going to show you what's going on back there right now, because that's kind of crazy. So you may have noticed in the last video, this roof, it's warped really bad. And whoever had it before us welded right there and just warped it to death. So it has T-tops, and the T-tops came with it's got a piece of steel that goes on the inside that's bent to the correct curvature, I guess. And we've got it clamped in there right now. We're actually going to go in here and I'm going to sand all this out with the belt sander, get it all good and clean. And then we're going to take a little bit of panel bond and put between it. We'll clamp it back together, and that should help this roof stay structurally okay. It's still got a big dip in it right here where it's warped. We'll have to address that later, but yeah, at least we'll be able to fix it. I ain't gonna lie, there was a point where I was like, I didn't know if we could fix it. I figured we'd figure something out, but I didn't know what that was. This is gonna work out good. Putting those metal pieces in there really stiffens it up. There's a lot of other stuff we gotta fix. The front of this thing is basically shot. As you can see, we would have bought a roof. I found one last week, but they wanted to sell. They wouldn't cut just the roof off the car. They wanted to sell the whole car for more than this car is worth. So we'll end up having to make patch panels for all this once all that's dry. We wanted to put it on a rotisserie, but we're gonna do this first, and we may actually fix the roof on this. I don't know. We'll see. We may definitely. I have to weld this back in. This brace is loose. The other brace is still in, but I had to take this one out because the lower area down here, all of this was cut loose, and they had welded it back in, but it was too low, and I had to cut it out, put another piece in, jack the side of this quarter up just to get the roof as good as it is. So I had to cut that loose to make that happen. So I'll weld it back in, and maybe once that's welded in and this roof is all kind of back together, it'll be stiff enough to where we can put it on without any other bracing. It may still get an X brace. We'll see. We'll pull all these clamps off, and I can show y'all how warped this roof is. There you go. Got plop that in. So I'm going to take a belt sander, sand all the inside of that down really good. I'll sand these guys down too. We'll get them good and clean. We'll panel bond this in and get it clamped. Got everything ground down. We'll blow it out real good. Wipe it down with the lacquer thinner. We'll get the panel bonding this in and get it nice and tight. It's got to be clean. Just like any other adhesive, if it's not good to clean, it will not stick. Look at all that. So I'm gonna get her cleaned up both sides, and we'll get to gluing and clamping her down. So we're using the 3M panel bond adhesive. Anybody that knows anything about automotive repair, use 3M for a lot of stuff. They make a lot of great products. And let's see if I can get the tip plug out. Come on, baby. Oh yeah, we got her. They have a mixing tip. Actually mixes it inside that tube. You put the tube on, put the cap back on, and boom, you're ready to rock. As you squeeze the trigger, you can just watch it come through the end. By the time it gets to the end, it's supposed to be ready to go. This one doesn't look right though. No, that's what I was.
That's
doesn't
not
look
good.
right. Well, let's see what happens. Let's take it apart. Well, this is what it sounds like when it dries up. Yeah, we'll have to get another tube. This one ain't going to cut it. Well, after an hour and a half, I'm back with a tube of new panel bond adhesive. Let's try this again. Oh yeah. Let me show y'all. You can see it coming out of both ends, and as it goes up towards the end, it kind of just mixes, and it comes out mixed. Let's get it going. I put it on the bottom side of that, but then I'm going to put it on the top side of this for the top side of the roof, because I can control it, make sure it's got enough. Too much don't hurt my feelings, but not enough's the problem. And whenever it's time for whomever it is that puts a roof on this thing eventually, because it'll still have to have one someday, they'll have to grind the roof away from these pieces. But we're doing what we can to fix what we got. Every situation you're in is not the best. This one's definitely not the best. The back, because it's the truest point, and I'll work my way around. Just clamping. You can see the roof straighten out just as I do this. Got to pull that off there. We're having problems with it later. Good. And there you have it. It looks crazy, but it'll work out good. The roof is, I mean, it is super strong with this. It was so weak before, it wouldn't even hold itself up. It's still bowed over there where it was warped. They just turned the heat up and welded a couple of spots there, and it just didn't work. We'll end up having to cut that out and fix it. It's actually Friday right now. So I did this today so this could sit for the weekend and like cure. Everything seems to have went really well, so that means probably something will break later, or none of it works, or I don't know. You know, there's always something, right? So nonetheless, we got them in. I think that's going to fix this roof problem. We'll let it sit. I'll see y'all Monday. We are back at it this morning. Got the old Cutlass up here underneath the lift. Pull this body off here just a little bit and put it on a rotisserie. I thought we'd take the clamps off this roof first, and we'd like to get them done. all that looks so good. I didn't know if we'd be able to save this roof, but I believe we'll be fine now. Rust repair is one thing, but that warpage, I didn't know if we'd ever get it be okay. But it's fine. I also have to weld one of the braces back in. That way this good and as tight as it's going to be. And yeah, we'll get after it. Let's get these clamps off. Getting too much panel bond around a clamp. Sometimes they're hard to get loose. I think these could be okay. Went ahead and got the girl in the air. We got 6 bolts to pull. I'm gonna pull them. I've already pulled the back ones. I think there's one in there maybe, or in here. Probably in here. I can't get to that one. We'll get it in a minute though. Move it on, then one there, one in the back, same on the other side. The ones in the trunk we already pulled out. One of them was so bad it looked like a candy cane. I think I have a picture of it. I'll put it right here. Yeah. So the chances of these coming out aren't great. We've been lucky so far, but we got 6 more. I'm just going to hit them with an impact. Either they come out or they don't. We'll put it on the rotisserie, and if it didn't come out, we'll weld a nut to it and try to get them out then. We'll get it, but yeah, the odds of us just pulling them all out easily, not good. So let me get after it and get this done, and we'll take a good look at this thing too. There's one. Man, I cannot believe these are all coming out good. Got 2 left, but I'm gonna have to set it down and move those front pads on the lift, and then we'll get them. Let's see what happens. Good over there? I'm just gonna ease her down a little. What? We're gonna figure out some way to hold the front down. Yeah. I feel safe with that. You ready? We'll try it. It's not hooked to anything. You heard the thum, didn't you? Look good? Okay. I looked at it when I was underneath it, but we're clear. We're clear? Yeah. That's clear. Which one? It's a little late to, let's roll the frame out. We'll at least put the car on the ground and adjust again. There you go. Can you get another click out of the graphic? It's there, it's fine. It's tight, we're okay. We got her off the frame. Evidently it had 4 bolts in the front instead of just 2, but the center 2 were so rotted, they just came right through the frame. So I'm gonna pull them out. We'll see if we get this thing on the rotisserie. She was a little tippy. She was a little tippy. So this thing had a body brace here, or bushing here and here. Yeah. I would have never, ever, ever found that. No. Yeah, not much there. Not much there. There's a good look at the bolt. Yeah, it's long since gone. There's all the rust and junk that was stuck up in there when we broke those free. I swept it up. That's a lot. Lots and lots and lots. It's a lot less deathy now. We're going to do the back and then we set her down.
Work those dents out?
No, do not. Well, we got her back here somehow. We should turn this before we get done with it. Yep. All right. Let's go catch that.
It's doing what we want. I think. It's okay. It's got the car.
Yeah. Well, she's hanging on her own now, so we'll push this frame outside, get it out of the way, and we'll move forward. Yeah. We threw a level on her because you want it as level as you can get it so it'll spin. Yeah, 0.0. We'll take that. Just giving her a little flippy flip. She moves easy. One hand was moving it. That's what you're looking for. Move it as easy as you can. Corey pretty much effortlessly. There we go. Whatever. Yeah, she still got a little bit. I vacuumed it earlier too, so there's a good look at the bottom side of this. See all that pink?
We didn't do the floor.
Yeah, it's beautiful. We did not do the front floors. I did the trunk pan, but yeah, this ain't us.
No, we're gonna fix it.
Little gappy. Yeah, well, I'll fix this, but it's a little gappy. And not welded great. Oh well. Look up here. Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful car. Well, she's out here on her side. Let's see if we can't fix some of this rust. I think the first thing I'm actually going to tackle is maybe down here on the bottom. We'll bring this back up, and it's got a big hole in here. We'll start there, and we'll just work our way across, get all that inner structure, the lip part done, and then we'll come back out here and see about all this. Went ahead and just got us a piece going here. Also scrap from the Chevelle where we did the windshield, and it fit. I just cut some holes there, fit in pretty good. I did stretch it right here just a little because it has a weird curve in it that fixed it, but it looks super good. I'm just going to weld her in, and yeah, that'll be done. And I think I'm going to take the belt sander and sand those two spots out to where there's no rust, and see if I can just weld those two spots, and we'll just keep climbing the hill here. I got this corner worked out really good. It looks great. There was a small hole at the bottom. If you watched last week's video, I showed it then. I went ahead and welded it up. The upper section, let me show you. Now, this is the lower section. That turned out great. That's just marker, but it looks good. Down here was that little hole. We welded it in. It's good to go. This up here had a couple of thin spots. I tried to weld it and it welded, but when I ground it, everything around it is so thin. We're just going to end up cutting this whole thing out. We're going to do it in pieces. So I've actually already made us a piece. I've got it sitting right there. It's too hot to touch, but I've actually, that's what the marks are, is where I'm going to cut it out. I'll put that piece in. This is also another piece I had that I'm going to put in is out of that Chevelle, and it's the last piece, but I had to stretch it along through here and just a little bit to give it the curve. Give me just a second. As soon as it cools down enough to handle, I'll pick it up and I'll kind of show you what we got. There we go. She fits tight, just like you want them to fit. And I left it a little long on the end. That's easy enough to grind down. But yeah, we'll just end up working our way all the way across, just in sections like this until we're done. I'm hoping that A-pillar over there is fine, but we won't know till we strip it. But I'm certain all this be easier to replace it than anything else. That's what we're going to do. I got that cut out, but I found some more rust. We're going to have to repair this and this. Look, the other side, they're the same too. Those are supposed to be, they're just like little rectangles so you can pop the trim in. There's some clips that go in there. So I think I'm going to take and just cut a small section of that out right there. Wish that'd focus better. And just replace a small piece on both of those. I'll cut this over a little further, and then we'll just include that part in the next piece because I've already made this patch. That'll be fine. Rest of this feels pretty good and solid up on the top of the side of this. I went through and kind of checked it. It ain't bad, so I'll clean all this up and get a little patch in there. Cut that over and get a little patch up there. We'll be good. Then we can put the outside panel on. Kind of hard to see here, but you can get a better look on the back side. See where we welded that piece in. I'm going to grind this side too, and this should be good. We'll keep on moving. Well, it's the next day, and it's almost the end of the day. I've been working on the interior of this. You couldn't see me doing it even if you wanted to. I'm going to show you what I've done. I think we're finally ready to move on with the actual windshield channel, finally. But more importantly, I fixed my stool today. There'll be some shorts on that. You might have already seen them, but let's check it. Look at that. You got some gold wheels on our black ride here. That thing was always hard to roll. The wheels were terrible, so we had to fix it. Why not go with gold? Let's pimp it out. Here's what I've been doing. I have fixed every one of the little places that gets a clip. And then in here, basically all this was rusted out. I put a piece there, I put a piece here. I've welded up little holes everywhere. I've cleaned it all and it's in good shape now, but holy moly, it has taken forever. But sometimes it's like that. You just got to fix it, right? So I finally have to the point I can fix this piece that I've already made. I'm going to weld that in right quick and yeah, I'm just going to keep going. We are back at it this morning, and I've already been at work. How many times have I said that? Made us some little edge piece or whatever. Threw it in the brake. Nothing crazy. I will have to put it through the shrinker stretcher because they have to curve, and this is just as you can see, a flat piece. But the windshield curves, so we'll have to do that. That ain't no big deal. We'll get them this piece to where it lays in nice. We'll cut a piece out, clean it up, weld this in, keep on and on until we're done. So here's how she currently fits. Terribly. See, you got a gap there, flushes out, a giant gap up here. So we're just going to stretch it from this angle, which will hopefully pull it right in line with the top of the roof here. And then the roof actually goes this direction. So we'll stretch this. And with any luck, we can get it to fit pretty good. Give this a test fit and see how she fits. Just walk right over here. And as you can see, it is better, but still a long way to go. So I'm just going to keep doing that till we get her to where she fits good. We are getting there. Just had a long way to go, so we'll just keep working it. I've ran her through the shrinker stretcher a bunch. Let's get her down kind of where she's close, but look at that. That fits pretty good. Down here I am going to stretch it another one, maybe two more times. So that corner could drop a little bit better, but it's hanging up. There's a little piece of metal right there. It's hanging on, so I'm going to ground that off first, just to make sure it don't drop in place, and we'll go from there. But then I have to stretch the back of this thing because you'll be able to see how gappy she is. And then we'll fix that, and then we'll probably have to come back and tune it the other way just a little, and then we'll have it. Now we have a arch both directions, so I'm not sure if y'all can tell at all, but let's go check it out. We are getting there. Man, is it fitting good. See, now we've taken all that gap out of that side. Get you in here. Gaps out of that side. I laid both those pieces beside each other. I thought you might get a kick out of seeing just how much curve we put in that. Isn't that cool? All we did was stretch the metal a little bit. The next thing we're going to do is actually cut this out, part it's going to replace. Just set it up here so we know kind of where it's going to end, because we don't want to take too much out of this still. The reason for that is I just don't want to warp the edge of this windshield at all if we can help it. So we're just taking, that's why I'm doing it in sections, so we don't end up with a bunch of warpage. Went ahead and drilled some holes and got all this fitted. It fits really nice. Now it's got a welder in, and yeah, that's that much less rust. There you go. Fits real well. Got everything ground down. You can see I left some holes in it. That's hot. I'm actually going to cut the metal out above all those holes. There's just no point in welding it and then coming back to fix it later. I got one more spot. So I'm just going to knock that out you know, how much can y'all see me do the exact same thing? I'm just making window channel. So I'm gonna make the upper window channel, get that in right quick. Y'all have already seen me do all the steps already. So we'll get that in and then we'll start patching the top. The top should be fine. It's got a lot of holes. So we're gonna do it in sections and try not to warp this thing terribly. It's gonna get warped, I'm sure of it. There's too many patches, too much welding. And it is thin, this metal is thin. So nonetheless, I'm gonna see if I can knock that window channel out today, or it's gonna take a few hours. So if I can get it done today, I'll show y'all. If not, I'll see you tomorrow. We'll see. Well, I got our windshield channel all in now. We're getting ready to move on, but I wanted to show you this right quick. Yeah, buddy. You could actually put a windshield in this car and it not fall out anymore. Amazing. So as you can see, I'm actually on the driver's side of the car now. I just flipped the rotisserie the other way. Got all this patched in and good. There's a lot of places I didn't patch because we're going to end up having to put in more metal. So I've got it tacked just so the top isn't loose. I do believe what we're going to do first is I've got some marks. They're getting really hard to see where the trim clip things go. I'm actually going to mark that down here on the bottom side, actually on the back of this. That way we still have them, but I don't want to put them in until we're done. So I'm just going to transfer those right quick, and then I'm going to take Scotch-Brite on a roll lock thing here. We're just going to strip all this paint back to make sure we're not missing any holes, because that's very possible. So it works good though. I'm going to do a nice section. I'll probably take us up to here, to about right there for now. I'm going to clean all that, and we're going to just start repairing the rest of the rust as we go up. And then at some point we'll flip the car the other way and do the other side. Well, I got her all cleaned up. Did find a couple of spots, nothing crazy. Stuff that we're already kind of in, so it wasn't like we're adding to it. But yeah, well, let me show you what we got, and then I'll show you what I've got made, and we'll get to work, and we'll just start patching patches in until we're fixed. So I got her all ground down, or whatever, Scotch-Brite it down technically. So what I found was there's a spot right here. That's it right there. I stuck the edge of that through it, and then there was another one. Oh, all of this was covered up, but now we found it too. So I was pretty sure we were going to have problems here because the front of this thing is just eat out. We'll end up having to put a patch in the front of this no matter what. So first off, we're going to start here. I made this piece here. I put a break in it. I'm actually going to cut it down to where it's about halfway between here and the bend in the body. And we're going to build just that section and put it in. And then we're going to build from that section up and then put it in. And that way we can follow all the lines and whatever at the same time, and it'll work out just fine. So with that being said, I'm just going to take this into the shear and just cut her down right quick. I'll mark it, and we'll come over, cut this out, and I'll run this through the stretcher. We need to stretch this edge so it follows this curve, and we'll be good to go. Got her in a stretcher. We're going to stretch it in a few different spots here. We're going to test fit it. I'll probably do this 10 times, so I'll hit y'all when we get it fitting better. Got this little piece here, and we've got it where it fits really, really good. I mean, like really, really good. So that's what we want. I ended up having to stretch this direction and shrink this direction to get that to fit as well as it does, but it does fit well. So now I'm going to cut this part out, and we'll just get this in there to where it fits just right. And once it does, we'll weld this in, and then we'll deal with this section, and we'll just keep working our way up. I would consider, I could have done a really long piece because it really needed it, but I don't want this roof to get any more distorted than it already is. So we're just doing it in smaller sections to help the distortion. there's that. There's a good look at the back of it too. I mean, you can just see it's just all of that in there is rusted, but you know, we're just cutting out the worst. But I don't know if you can tell, there's tons of tiny holes in that too. Got our piece trimmed down and whatever and fitting good. It's hard to tell by my shaky hand, but it fits in there nice. I'm gonna see if I can get this to sit in there nice, get it welded, tacked in. When we get it tacked in, I'll weld the bottom and the sides up so far. And that way that's all tied together, and then we can cut this out, make a piece there, and we'll put that in. So I got us a piece made. I ran it through the vise, broke us an edge, and the rest of that was done with shrinker, stretcher, a hammer, and the metal that's holding the T-top thing in place. And it fits real good. It'll be hard to tell. There's a good look at it for you from this side. She just fits real nice. So it's the end of the day. I've got to clean up and get out of here, but tomorrow we'll cut that out, put this in, and then this section will be fixed, and we'll just keep moving. We got to keep moving up. We'll do this section and then this section, and then on across until we get her done. Well, it's the next day, and I'm already here changing things I did yesterday, so let's take a look. Let me show you. So this is the patch I had laying in there yesterday. I came back this morning. I just wasn't happy with it. So I made that one cut, hit it with a hammer one time, and now it feels better. It just had just a little bit of a bubble in it, and it wasn't a lot. It's just a little bit right there. And I worked on it some this morning. I couldn't get it out, but now I've got it laying in there. Even better than it was yesterday. And yeah, I think we'll be good. I'm going to go ahead and mark this. We'll cut this out and lay this patch in and get it welded. I messed it up first time. I messed it up the first time I tried, but I fixed it this time. Whatever. We'll cut this out, and yeah, we'll see about getting this panel in there for good. Yeah. There's a good look at it. You can see this section here, which is this section here, is real thin. That's actually, you can see right here was the edge of that expanding foam. That expanding foam held that water in there and rusted this thing from the inside out. What a shame. Yeah, expanding foam is not for roofs, people. Matter of fact, expanding foam isn't for, you know, water retention at all. So we'll toss this one and put in a new piece. So I wanted to show you all the inside of this. You can see where the expanding foam was. You can see the defined line of it even. I'm going to hit that with a belt sander right quick. I'm going to spray some E-coat down inside of this as best we can. We're just, you know, trying to give it every hope it's got. It's in. It's welded in there, but we had some issues. It's turned out okay, but we had some issues. So y'all had seen me cut this to relieve it a little bit. It needed that just to fit in there a little better, and that helped it a lot. I went ahead and tacked all this, and as I tacked this backside, it warped this right here really bad. I ended up having to come and cut that and then weld it in. Also, all that heat started the adhesive releasing, so I just went ahead and ground this down and put some tack welds in there. We just need to keep that strong, and that'll do that. We couldn't have done that to the whole thing, but here in the front it overhangs, so this will be fine. Not the best repair I've ever done, but not terrible either. A little filler when we're done with this and it'll be fine. We've got a long way to go. I don't suspect it's going to get better. Roofs are really, really thin typically, and this one definitely is, and they warp so fast and so easy. I knew we were going to have problems before I ever even, picked up a grinder to start grinding paint away. I knew this would be a problem. So let's move on to the next part. Let's just get this thing done. I went ahead and pre-made us a piece. I just bent a 90 and then shrank this edge a little bit just like I've been doing. Fits really good. So I'm going to go in and actually cut this. I am going to leave this longer this time, so this edge right here is closer to it. I don't know that that'll help us. I don't know that it won't either. So our next piece may just be a smaller piece and then another piece. Who knows? I'm not really sure yet. But for sure, we can go ahead and put this in. So I'm going to go ahead and just do this. Y'all ready for an update or what? First part of the update, it's the next day. I got a lot done yesterday. I would like to have gotten more done, but it just didn't happen. Let me show you what I've got, and we'll go from there. Yeah, look at that. We actually have metal from about halfway out all the way down now. That's a big change. I still got to put in a patch up here and a patch here and this front section, which is actually this piece. I've already made it, so really I just have the patch here and a patch up here, and then there's going to be a section right here that has to be replaced. There's some something there I thought was rust, but turns out it's bubbling paint, or I don't know what it is, but I think it'll be okay. If not, we'll put a patch there too. I'm going to go ahead and put this patch in, and I'll strip some more of this. I'll end up stripping this entire roof because there is no way in a million years I would let a sandblaster hit this roof with a blast gun. Whenever I either get finished this front section or I call it a day, whatever, I'll update you then. I don't think it'll take me but a few hours to finish this front. Then we got to move on. I'll strip all this down, and then we'll move to the middle. Well, it's the end of the day, and it's something all right. Don't roast me too bad in the comments, but we're going to look at this, and then we'll talk. Yeah, I know it's hard for y'all to tell, but that's warped so bad, but it's in there. So here's the deal. We've maintained this front edge pretty good. This edge is excellent all the way across. I still got a small spot to fix, and we still have a spot here to put a patch in. But it's the end of the day and I'm done. But it is low right here. And I've tried and tried and tried to get that out, and it don't want to do it. So it oil cans a little, and yeah, it's just as warped now. Let's face it, we're fixing a roof that should have been thrown away. So it just is what it is. It'll be fine once it's all body worked and primed and painted. You'll never know. But maybe not my most proud moment. So come at me in the comments if you have to, but just know that I already know it ain't the best work I've ever done. Yes, thanks for watching. And if I'm working on this in the next video, I'll catch y'all then. Thanks.